I don't know how to connect to my intuition. How do I know the difference between anxiety and intuition? How do I know if I'm scared or if it's intuition? I feel disconnected from my intuition. Baby, you do know how to connect to your intuition, okay? We're going to talk about this today because it's such a common misconception. Women think that they don't know how to connect to their intuition. I am going to teach you how today. I'm going to teach you how to tune in and how to drown out the noise and stop listening to other people so that you can become your own compass. You can become your own guide, and you know how to ask yourself questions so that you can move through life knowing that you are trusting yourself and trusting your bodily cues and trusting your own instincts. Okay, so first of all, I just want to touch on why most women feel disconnected from their intuition, okay? As a society, women are taught curiosity kills the cat, don't ask too many questions, taught to look outside of ourselves for answers, to constantly be asking people, asking for permission, not wanting to do anything that's going to upset other people, constantly being told you're being over the top, you're overreacting, it's probably in your head. This narrative is forced upon women, so women will second guess themselves, okay? You're going to be second guessing yourself, thinking, is it a good feeling or am I just being over the top? Am I just being crazy? Am I just being hysterical? I'm here to tell you that you're not, okay? If you have a gut feeling about something, trust it. Because your intuition is going to give you knowledge that nobody else can give you, okay? No social media guru, not me, not anybody else, no coach, no mentor, no scripture, no podcast, no friend, no relative is ever going to be able to guide you in the way that your intuition can guide you, but you have to learn how to trust it, okay? It's like any relationship, you have to build trust with your own body and your own intuition in order for there to be a good feedback loop, in order for there to be clear communication and that trust. And it takes a bit of trial and error, okay? I'm not saying that you're always going to get it spot on. That's not what this is about. It's not about always getting it perfect. And then if you don't get something right, or if you misjudge your intuition at some point, like breaking contact and saying, I don't trust you anymore. Again, treat it like a long-term friend or like a relative. Treat it like your mom or your dad or your sister or brother, whoever. And just know that sometimes there's going to be fractures in communication and you just have to rebuild that trust. Now, everybody's intuition communicates to them in a different way. It's called a gut feeling for a lot of people, but maybe you don't feel it in your gut, and that's okay. And that's why you need to learn how to trust your intuition. I want you to think about a time in your life when you knew that something was wrong or something felt off or something didn't feel right or something did feel right, and you felt a very, very strong presence of this. And maybe it came to you as like a bodily sensation, feeling in your body, or maybe it came to you as just like this hit. Sometimes I get like this feeling, it's almost like a download hits me and I'm like, something's off, or this is what I need to do. I want you to think about a time in your life that happened and you didn't pay attention to it. And afterwards you reflect back and you could see, I knew, but I didn't follow through on that. And you can pause this video if you want to just have a little think about it. But I want you to reflect back and really think, how did I know that thing was wrong? And it's okay if you don't remember. We're going to do an exercise in a minute where we're going to tap into how to discern between your fear and intuition or anxiety intuition so that you can start to feel it for yourself and practice it. But I want you to really just reflect on a time when you knew. It's okay that you didn't follow through with it. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. It happens, it is just life. But the more that you can learn to tune into this, the more easily you're going to be able to move through life, because you're not going to have to pick up the phone and say to your friends all the time, like, hey, what should I do about this? You're just going to be like, I'm going to sit with myself. I'm going to ask myself these questions and I'm going to let the clarity come. Okay. So one way that you can usually tell between the difference of intuition and fear or anxiety or like overthinking or just mental chatter is overthinking, anxiety, all of this sort of stuff is usually very loud. Okay. It's very like incessant, just chatter, like very busy, very noisy. Your intuition usually, and again, it's different for everybody, is more of like a quiet nudge or a whisper. So we're going to do an exercise now to discern between the two. I want you to think about a time or think about something that makes you scared or makes you feel very anxious. We're not going to stay there too long, but I want you to just tap into this feeling. So close your eyes if it feels comfortable for you, lower your gaze, just be in your own energy field. And I want you to think about something that causes you a bit of anxiety. So maybe it's a situation that you've got to go to. Maybe you've got to go to an event or an interview or a date or something coming up, something like that that's going to be causing you a bit of anxiety, or a conversation that you need to have. And I want you to notice where in your body you feel this. Where is this anxiety? Where is this fear? Is it a tightness in your chest? Is it a clenching in your jaw? Is it like a flutter in your heart? Really tune into your body, out of your mind. Get out of your mind into your body. Feel your bum on the surface that it's on, or your feet, and notice where in your body you feel that this anxiety and this fear. And just sit with it. Really pay attention to what it feels like. Really notice the subtleties. You know, are you getting tingling sensations somewhere in your body? How's your breathing? How's your heart rate? Just notice for a couple more seconds. Again, pause the video anytime you need to. And then bring yourself back to the room. Have a little shake off some energy. Okay, so that was fear, that was anxiety. Now I want you to tune back into your body again. And I want you to think about a time when you knew something was right or wrong, okay? It's up to you which one you want to pick. I don't want to always be sending you to bad places. It doesn't have to be something huge, like a time when you needed to run away from danger. But just when you had this feeling, your intuition, like, no, something's off there. Maybe it's an interaction with a person. Maybe it was even something as simple as someone saying to you, do you want to go to this event? And you know, no, I don't want to go to that. But you're second guessing yourself. And this deep knowing, I want you to feel where that is in your body. What does that feel like? Now, this should feel very different to the anxiety and the fear. How do you know? What is happening in your body? Is it a feeling in your gut or your womb? That's very, very common. Is it just like a calm presence and there's not much happening in your body, but it's just this deep knowing that can't be explained, that feels like a sense of calm? And remember, we're not thinking about this too much. We're feeling somatically where it is in the body. Just really pay attention. How do you know that this thing was or wasn't right for you? Because this is going to teach you how to connect with your intuition going forward. And I want you to notice the difference between this knowing and the anxiety and the fear. You can write this down if you need to, and you can come back to it and practice it over and over again. But I want you to really be noticing the somatic, the bodily differences between fear and anxiety and your intuition. And then again, just come back, shake, just off that energy. What was the difference for you? Because they usually feel quite different. Anxiety and fear tends to feel like kind of a chaotic energy, okay? Very frantic, like heart palpitations, a rush, adrenaline, this sort of thing. And an intuition feeling usually is more grounded, like it's in your gut or it's in your throat. Maybe it's heavier. What I want you to do with this, I want you to start to practice this in your daily life. You can start to practice it with the smallest things. So if someone says to you, I don't know, maybe you're out getting coffee and someone says, oh, do you want coconut or oat milk? You can just take 1 second to tune in and ask yourself what you want and see how your body responds to that. Rather than staying up here and thinking, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Just drop 1 second into your body and see what your body says. I want you to be practicing this, right? With so many little things. Maybe you're making dinner and you're like, what do I want for dinner today? Okay, I can either have chicken or fish. Rather than go around a loop in your head, start to ask yourself and drop into your body and ask your body, what do I need? And again, notice what sensations come up. If it's more of the anxiety, the fear, the overthinking, then you know, okay, this isn't actually my intuition talking. And try and tune into the area of your body where you felt this intuition communicating somatically to you. And you can practice this in every area of your life so that when it comes to the big stuff, you're going to feel so much more connected. You're going to be able to make those decisions and not be grasping around asking other people for their opinions. And once you can do this, life is going to flow a lot more for you. We already know that the more that we can stay out of our heads and be in our bodies, the more present we are in life, the more easier life is going to be, and the more magnetic, right, you become to things around you because you're so present in your body, the more pleasure you're going to receive because you're moving through life connected to your senses rather than being up here. And the less energy that you are going to waste making so many small decisions, second guessing yourself, over explaining yourself, going around journaling, meditating on all these questions, because you're just going to be able to decipher in your body. This doesn't mean that there aren't going to be big decisions that require you to sit with them, okay? Not everyone's intuition is something that goes like this. It's not the same. Sometimes we have really big life decisions to make. For me, what usually happens is I don't always get the answer there and then. So if I have a really big decision to make and I'm like, should I accept this job or not? Should I work with this client or not? Should I go on this holiday or not? I will ask the question, I will sit with my body, and then I will say, when you're ready to give me the response, I'm open to it. And I will usually receive the response the next day. And then I can feel that in my body as this, yes, this is the right thing for me. It's not always instant, but if you can start to practice with the instant stuff, it's also going to show you where sometimes you've misjudged it. So again, just a really simple thing. Should I have matcha or coffee today? And maybe your brain's thinking, I really, really want coffee. But your body's like, girl, you're anxious enough. And so you choose coffee, and then afterwards your body's like, I shouldn't have done that. This is a great way to start to build trust and see, I did know that deep down, but I chose not to listen to it. The more that you can do this, the more when you're in situations when you're faced with the bigger decisions there and then, and maybe you have to give an answer, or you're in a situation where maybe something is just really off with a person. Say somebody's asking you a lot of questions and your body's saying, I don't trust this person, something's off. Rather than ignore it, give a person your life story and then afterwards feel this self-betrayal, this self-abandonment of, oh, I knew something was off and I did that. You can just choose to be like, actually, I don't wish to continue with this conversation right now. And then you can go away. And if you choose to re-engage in that conversation, you can do it from a place of knowing. But it just builds so much more trust with yourself. And usually the worst thing about not listening to your intuition is the feeling of guilt and self-betrayal and self-abandonment that you feel afterwards. We all know that feeling, that icky feeling of like, maybe you went on a date and you knew, I don't like this person, and you go home and you're lying in bed and you're thinking, I wish I didn't go because I knew, but I didn't listen to myself. That feeling there is usually the worst part. It's not actually about the situation that happened. It's usually about the feeling of self-betrayal and the guilt that you didn't listen to yourself afterwards. So the more that we can kind of obviously meet ourselves with love, we're all going to have moments where we haven't listened to our intuition when we wish we had. But the more that you can build that self-trust with yourself, this is a power that nobody else can give you. Nobody else can ever take away from you. There is no course, degree, program, podcast, anything that is going to be able to teach you what is right for you more than your own intuition. You can work with the best naturopaths, nutritionists, dietitians in the world, and they can give you diet plans. But if something is a food or a supplement or whatever that is not right for your body, no one is going to be able to tell you that other than you. And the only way that you're going to be able to actually tune into that is by paying attention and building trust with your own body. So some other things that you can do is just sit with your body for 5 minutes every day. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to give you a 12-step morning routine. I think, like, come on, we've all got lives to live and they can actually be more detrimental sometimes to try and do too many things. But start to tune into your body every day to spend 5 minutes with it and build a conversation. Hey, babe, what's going on? Is there anything you want to communicate to me? And if you feel a sensation in your chest, what is it that you're trying to tell me? And again, you might not always get the answer straight away, but the more that you ask questions and the more that you sit there patiently in a supportive way, again, treat your body like a friend. If a friend was going through something or you wanted to speak to a friend about something, you wouldn't be like, tell me what's going on, tell me what's going on, tell me what's going on. You'd say, hi babe, is everything all right? I'm here if you want to talk. And when you're ready to talk, and your friend might not talk straight away, but they might call you later that night and say, I'm ready to talk now. Your body is the same. And the more that you can build this beautiful, nourishing, safe, compassionate relationship and communicate, talk to your body, two-way dialogue, honestly, the more beautiful your life is going to become, because you're just going to spend more time here than you are up here. Less time figuring things out, more time actually living in embodiment with your truth. And I think from my own personal journey, if there's one thing that I can share with the world, this would be it. I was somebody who spent my entire life up here trying to figure things out. And it's a pattern that I still find myself in. Sometimes when I feel overwhelmed, I sit with myself and I'll say, what am I actually overwhelmed about? And my to-do list or the things that I need to do aren't actually like, it's not a big list. But my mind will be telling me, you need to figure everything out. You need to figure out how you're going to get from A to B to C to D to E. No. And in those moments, I will come back into my body and say, what's going on? I feel overwhelmed. What do you need? I need to just take an hour to go for a walk. I need to self-soothe with some self-touch. Or I need to have a hot bath. Your body is going to tell you what you need, okay? If you did the exercise and you could clearly see the difference between fear and anxiety and your intuition, let me know the difference in the comments below. For most people, it tends to move from more like this section, head to chest. and moves more into the stomach to womb, the kind of solar plexus to root chakra phase, because it's more grounded. Your intuition is more grounded. And as a woman, your womb and your yoni are going to be centers of extreme intelligence for you. And just have fun with this. Have fun with it going forward. Like I said, practice with the small things. What hot drink should I have this morning? What should I have for dinner? If you're out and about and you're interacting with random people, practice it then. Because in my opinion, there is nothing more powerful in this world than when women are connected to their intuition, which is why they don't want you to know, okay? Which is why you've been taught as a society not to listen to it and to not question things too much. And, you know, we've all had situations where we meet a guy and we know something is off. There's a guy that's acting dodgy in some way, whether it's in real life or online or whatever. And people say, oh, I'm sure he's just being nice. So you say, oh yeah, maybe he is just being nice, as a compassionate and an empathic person and woman. And then later down the line, you think, no, I should have listened to my intuition. If you can really learn to harness this, you're unstoppable, and you're going to be in situations that are so more aligned with who you are as a person, because you're going to be able to decipher so much quickly. No, this isn't for me. Yes, this is for me. Boom, 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 boom. Less here, less decision fatigue. We all have so many decisions to make on a daily basis, and our brain only has capacity to make so many, which is why when you're overwhelmed and you have a lot going on and you have a lot of decisions to make, most people get burnt out or they get tired or like some sort of stress response. The more that you can eliminate your decision fatigue, the more energy that you're going to have to actually put into your creative projects, into the work that you want to do, into building the life that you want to have, into pleasure, into self-care, into rest, into interacting with the people that you do want to interact with. So I hope you found this episode helpful. Please let me know how you got on. Like, subscribe, come say hi over on Instagram or TikTok or in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, stay wild.